It was 3:47 a.m. in a small studio apartment in Madison, Wisconsin. I was 29 years old, halfway through my third year of medical residency, and I hadn't slept more than 4 consecutive hours in over a decade. The alarm clock on my nightstand had become my enemy. I tried everything: Ambien, Lunesta, melatonin in doses that would knock out a horse, magnesium, valerian root, weighted blankets, 2 different sleep clinics. The diagnostic chart said chronic primary insomnia. The treatment plans never worked. What none of my doctors realized was that the more I chased sleep with chemicals, the more I was damaging the exact biological system that was supposed to deliver it. It took me 15 years, a complete change of medical specialty, and 3 published papers to finally understand what was happening to me and to thousands of people just like you. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 5 most important things I learned about insomnia after living with it for 15 years and then spending the rest of my career treating it. These aren't sleep tips you've heard 1,000 times. Some of them will directly contradict what your doctor has probably told you. Stay until the end, because the 5th lesson is the one that finally ended my insomnia, and it has nothing to do with willpower, mattresses, or sleep hygiene. If you want the complete protocol I built for my own patients, including the exact evening sequence and the supplements I trust, I've put a free downloadable guide in the description below. Let me anchor the scale of this problem for you. The latest data from the CDC and the American Academy of Sleep Medicine puts the number of American adults with a chronic sleep disorder somewhere between 50 and 70 million. A 2022 meta-analysis published in the journal Sleep, drawing from 47 longitudinal studies, found that chronic insomnia raises the risk of cardiovascular disease by 45% and dementia in adults over 50 by an estimated 33%. This is not just discomfort, this is structural damage accumulating night after night. The first thing I learned is that insomnia is almost never a sleep problem. It is an arousal problem. For 15 years, every doctor I saw kept trying to push me deeper into sleep. Sedate the brain, slow it down, force it under. But the real issue was that my nervous system never came down from the daytime state in the first place. Polysomnography studies, the gold standard of sleep medicine, consistently show that people with chronic insomnia have elevated cortisol levels at 9 p.m., elevated heart rate variability scores indicating sympathetic dominance, and an overactive amygdala, the brain's threat detection center. You cannot push a foot down on the gas pedal and the brake at the same time and expect the car to stop. Sedatives don't fix the gas pedal. They just override the system. The second thing I learned took me years to accept. Trying harder to sleep is the single fastest way to destroy sleep. The medical name for this is conditioned hyperarousal. Every time you lie in bed willing yourself to fall asleep, your brain forms a stronger association between the bed and the feeling of failed effort. After a few months of this, the bed itself becomes a cortisol trigger. You're literally training your nervous system to wake up when your head hits the pillow. The fix sounds counterintuitive, but it works. If you're awake in bed for more than 20 minutes, get up. Sit in dim light, read something boring, and only return when you actually feel sleepy. Break the association. The third thing I learned changed my career. Most sleep medications, including the over-the-counter melatonin sitting in your kitchen drawer right now, are doing the opposite of what you think. Standard melatonin doses sold in the United States range from 5 to 10 milligrams. The physiological dose the human pineal gland actually releases at night is between 0.1 and 0.3 milligrams. We are flooding the brain with 30 to 50 times more melatonin than it ever evolved to handle. The short-term effect is sedation. The long-term effect is receptor desensitization. Your brain's own melatonin production declines, and over months you become functionally dependent on the supplement. This is why so many people in their 50s tell me they have to take melatonin now. They didn't fix the system, they broke it. Before I get to the next lesson, I want to mention something important. Everything I've just described, the overactive nervous system, the conditioned hyperarousal, the receptor damage from high-dose melatonin, these are the exact biological problems the formula I now recommend to my patients was designed around. It's called U-Sleep. It's an all-natural liquid that supports the brain's own sleep pressure system, using physiological dose ingredients instead of overwhelming it with synthetics. The link is in the description if you want to look at it. But stay here. The next two lessons are the ones that finally turned my insomnia around. The fourth lesson is about timing, specifically the 90-minute window. Every human being runs on a hidden internal rhythm called the sleep pressure system. Adenosine, a chemical byproduct of brain activity, builds up in your cerebrospinal fluid throughout the day. When the level gets high enough, you feel sleepy. Caffeine doesn't give you energy. It blocks adenosine receptors and prevents you from feeling the pressure. Most insomniacs have a destroyed adenosine rhythm because of inconsistent wake times, late-day caffeine, and short daytime naps. The fix is brutal, but it works. Pick a wake time. Hold it within a 30-minute window 7 days a week. Cut all caffeine after 12 p.m. Within 3 weeks, your adenosine curve rebuilds, and your natural sleepiness window appears around the same time every night, usually 90 minutes after sunset for adults over 40. And the fifth lesson, the one that finally ended my insomnia after 15 years, is about something most doctors will never tell you. The brain's sleep pressure system, the one that controls every part of this process, runs on specific nutrients and neurotransmitters. When you have been sleep deprived for years, your brain literally runs out of the raw materials it needs to manufacture deep sleep. You are not lazy. You are not anxious. You are not weak. You are biochemically depleted. Magnesium glycinate, GABA, L-theanine, 5-HTP, apigenin, lemon balm extract. These are the specific compounds the brain uses to assemble the cascade that gets you into slow-wave sleep. Most adults over 40 and almost all adults over 50 are deficient in 3 or more of them simultaneously. Here is the complete picture. Insomnia is an arousal problem, not a sleep problem. Trying harder makes it worse. High-dose melatonin breaks your own system over time. Rebuild your adenosine rhythm with consistent wake times and cut off caffeine. And feed the brain the raw materials it needs to assemble sleep on its own. But here's what nobody told me for 15 years. If you have suffered from insomnia for more than a year, and especially if you are over 50, your biological sleep system is already compromised at the molecular level. Years of chronic stress, broken adenosine rhythms, high-dose melatonin supplements, and prescription sedatives have created cumulative damage that habits alone take a very long time to repair. This is not a willpower problem. This is a biological one. The behavioral fixes build the foundation, but the foundation often needs direct nutritional support to rebuild. This is exactly where U-Sleep comes in. Unlike prescription medications that sedate you or high-dose melatonin supplements that desensitize your receptors over time, U-Sleep works by supporting your brain's natural sleep pressure system using 10 clinically researched plant-based compounds. It contains magnesium glycinate to promote restorative deep sleep, GABA to quiet the overactive brain I described in the first lesson, and only 0.9 milligrams of melatonin, a true physiological dose that signals rest without desensitizing your receptors or leaving you groggy. One of the users, Lisa from Chicago, wrote, "In the first night of taking U-Sleep, I fell asleep in minutes and slept all the way till the morning. After 2 weeks, my husband said, 'I got my wife back.' Just 2 droppers 30 minutes before bed. No prescription, no dependency, no morning grogginess. And it's backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee. The link to try U-Sleep is in the description below. I spent 15 years learning these lessons the hard way. You don't have to. Tonight is the night your sleep starts to change.